The most embarrassing thing I've done would be to...
Really honest video here, isn't it? Biggest insecurity.
Your name, what do you do?
My name is Mariki. I am a life coach, a mentor, and an iheart facilitator. iheart stands for Innate Health Education and Resilience Training. That's a mouthful, but iheart's much shorter.
Okay, I can remember iheart. Could you tell us about the first time you tried to start a business?
I've tried a couple of things in the past, but it was always because I was married and I had small children. The business was always taking second place. It was always about the family first. So I've done things like buying in calico, which is sort of like a bleached cotton, and then I would be, creative with that, made clothes for children, especially when my own were little. I used to make children's clothes and sell them. So that's the first sort of steps into running my own business.
Was you working at home? Was you
worked from home? Working from home, and that was the beauty about it. I could be with the family and I could work for myself as well. So you kept your hand in both.
What did you want to be when you were little?
I think my own boss. I've always been a little bit of a bossy boots. I grew up with 6 siblings.
Wow.
And if you grow up with 6 siblings and 3 of them are brothers, then you have to be able to stand up for yourself.
Which sibling are you?
Second last one.
Oh.
So I really had to flex my muscles.
Tell us your proudest moment in business.
Was actually 3 years ago when I decided to take on starting the coaching practice. I was in a corporate job, and I feel quite proud of myself that I could leave that and step outside my comfort zone and decide to, go for it on my own.
Did you quit quite suddenly, or was it a slow transition?
I think it was a more slow transition, but there were certain things that happened that made it more worthwhile or made it more imminent. I worked in HR, and part of HR is that you have boundaries. You have a lot of boundaries when you work in HR, but you also work with the humans that's working with you. And it was at one stage when I was working with one of my colleagues who became seriously ill. And I just felt so restricted with what you're allowed to do within the company that I felt now is the time I really need to move out of this and just expand the borders and not put any limitations on myself.
What's the strongest part of your character?
That could be my downfall as well. I actually do love people. I really do feel intensely that I would love for people to succeed and to be happy. I often get told off for that because I put heart and soul into that. So my own children will say, "Mum, just back off a little bit," not with them, but with clients. So they keep an eye on me on the business side.
What's the most money you've ever lost?
Individuals come to me for either a 4-week session, or we do a 6-week program. Or if I engage with companies, it's a 12-month contract. Though I don't easily just lose money sort of in an instant, like an investment.
Or what about a loss in terms of a deal that you missed out on, or a project that you missed out on?
Because of the nature of coaching, you have to take on a client if you know you're able to help them. So sometimes somebody might approach you for coaching, but you have to then look past it could earn me some money this month, or, I still need to pay my mortgage. You have to say no. And I think that's the more challenging bit of actually working for yourself, is that sometimes you have to say no if it's not the right agreement.
Can I ask what's the most you've made from a project?
Ooh, I have a juicy one at the moment that gives me a really good income, about 1,700 a month. So that's just one that I see on a monthly basis.
All right, so you're given £1 million tax-free. What do you do with it?
I will just do more coaching and probably do a lot of local. I would love to do more work with the community, and sometimes, schools, organizations don't have the funds to pay for a professional to come in and help the kids. So I think if I had £1 million, there will be more voluntary work. It will be just so much easier to get involved with local communities and helping the young children to. I was listening to Mick earlier, and what he was saying about it is the outside influence that stop people from reaching their full potential. And if I can just explain or help younger people to uncover this ability that they have, then it'll be worth it, won't it?
Capitalism, good or evil?
Both, because you do need money if you want to do anything. Money makes the world go round. If it's an obsession, that's the other side of the coin. If you're only working for money, then you're going to hit a brick wall at some point. If you love what you're doing, you are going to make money anyway because it's inevitable.
Have you ever been scammed or conned in business?
I think sometimes my clients do try, not financially, but if we worked out some kind of a program and they want to reach a certain goal, they might come back after a week and try and disguise that they haven't really done anything they said they were going to do. And yeah.
What's your lowest point in your entrepreneurship journey?
That was the lowest point. The lowest point, I think, is sometimes if you work with a client and you can see them struggle and you have to hold back because you can't give anybody the answer because you don't have the answer for someone else. And if you see them struggle, I find that is probably the lowest point of any relationship I have with any of the clients. As soon as they have their personal insight, as soon as they see what it is that they want to do and need to do to move on, then that is like the highlight of the opposite side of it.
What about a time where you almost gave up and you carried on?
Because when you start, you understand that you are taking financial risk. You give up a full-time monthly paid job, and now you have to find clients. So I think the lowest time was probably when there weren't as many clients as I would have liked to have. You still have to work on yourself as well to keep your positivity and your outlook fresh and optimistic. I think so. It's when, it's during periods when there aren't that many clients around. It is about understanding how your thinking is influencing how you feel about things. So once you get past that, you can overlook that this fear in your stomach is because you think you're not having enough clients, but actually put it on its head. All you need to do is to do a bit more networking, put the word out there, get the momentum going, and before you know it, you're back to, having a fully booked diary, which is lovely.
What's your biggest insecurity?
It's probably that I wouldn't be able to help somebody. That's probably. Being a coach, that is your ultimate dream. I mean, that's what success as a coach means for me, is that I can help somebody else to reach their potential.
The hardest thing about being an entrepreneur is
working by yourself. If I think back about the HR team that I was in, there's always somebody that you can go and have a conversation with. Now, I do have a coaching buddy, which is really useful because I phone him up once a week. We have a two-way conversation where he would talk to me about his clients, and because it's about confidentiality as well. So you can't just discuss it with your friends and family.
Can I ask how much money your business makes a year?
Per month, maybe?
Yeah.
So anything between 4,000 and 6,000. It is important to me that I have that personal interaction with people. I don't want to grow it where they just go online and they just do a little online course. I don't want to go there. I want to work face-to-face with people, directly involved with people. And that is my capacity. I can't physically do more than that. So the next step, if I do want to grow that, is that I will have to take on maybe a younger coach, somebody who wants to be a coach, and then maybe get them involved, especially with iheart, which is more focused towards younger people.
The biggest mistake that entrepreneurs make.
It is to think if you do what you love, you never have to work another day in your life. In fact, you actually work a lot harder, but it's far more satisfying. And you just never stop working.
What inspires you daily?
People like you guys, you know, just meeting other people, being on the train this morning, connecting with the universe, connecting with your own soul, just feeling that inner satisfaction of life. I don't know, just every moment really. There's a woman who wrote a book called The Simple Abundance, and it's about from the moment you wake up in the morning is to have gratitude, say, you know, thank you for this great place. You know, it's safe where I am, so thank you for that. That's already inspirational. You know, just get up and get on with life.
Is poverty a choice?
I think if you're born somewhere where there are challenges, I think lifting yourself out of poverty there's always possibility.
Did you ever take on any debt to get started or to keep going?
My daughter believed so much in me that she actually gave me the first money to join the BNI networking group. I don't know if you know about BNI, Business Networking Group. So she actually gave me the money to sign up for a year with BNI so that I can start networking.
How much is it to join a BNI?
It was just over £1,000, and then over the year you have to pay for your weekly lunch that you have with them.
You become the leader of the world. What's your first action?
To ban bad news, especially bad news that flows so quickly around the world. The other thing to stress about that is that the bad news is not always even the truth. So it is about scaring people and scaring young people about future. Not only young people, scaring everybody about the future, and I would ban that immediately.
What's the most shameful thing or embarrassing thing you've ever done for money?
Probably take on a client I shouldn't have taken on. It was somebody who wanted to have something specific. He wanted to have a partner. Okay. So we were working around that, but whenever anything came around, he said, no, actually he wanted his wife, which was, you know, she's passed away, so that's what he wanted back. And that is impossible. It's you know, I can't create any miracles. So that was one where maybe I should not have taken the person on. I still thought I could help him. So in the end, what we did is we did something else. We worked on his environment. We worked on creating a beautiful home for him, and we did some interior design together. So it turned out all right in the end.
Really, really sharp, quick advice you would give for us.
Is to go out there and be brave. It is scary. And if you're not willing to sort of move through the fear and do it anyway, then you are actually putting limitations around yourself. It's not everybody else or anybody else who's putting limitations on you. You are limiting yourself.